for 9 o'clock. It's already 6 minutes past 9. I wish to open the meeting officially and wish to welcome you in a meeting. The official stakeholders, whoever is present in the meeting is always welcome. And I hope that we'll deliberate and have a peaceful meeting, and we will have to leave no stone unturned. Honorable members, understanding that at least we feel now that it's the end of the year, our auditors are just telling us that it's the end of the year, and this month that I'm talking about, okay, I'm talking in, is the month that, you know, sometimes provoke our sympathy.
Recording in progress.
In our hearts, in terms of the transport month that has got lots and lots of people that have left us, the loved ones. But we all remember them, and we keep on remembering them. I understand that to lose someone who you love and is close to you through this accident is, this time around, it's not only accident that are taking lives of the people, of our people, but also this GBV that is getting higher and higher day by day. We all remember them and we love them, and we still love them even now. Honorable members, last time we had a meeting, we had news that Honorable Pulnit was admitted in hospital, and we requested to Lindy, as on behalf of our committee, must also send the get well card or get well message. We hope that she has been recuperated soon and she is fine. Otherwise, all the best. Let's, Honorable, make sure that what is it that is taking place, why people are eating all of a sudden. We always used to be very high numbers. Let's hear from Lindy. Lindy, are you back? You are welcome from the exams, hoping that you have passed all the papers. An adult never fails. Each adult just passes everything. Pass all, pass one, pass all. Lindy, are you here with us?
Thank you very much, Chair. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thanks very much, Chair, for the welcome back. Today, Chair, is the 19th of October. The committee is engaging on an internal meeting to consider a number of reports and the minutes. The department and other stakeholders are not here. It's just the committee, maybe one or two stakeholders, like the people that will be stream live the proceedings. That's why you see that there's only 18 people that are present here. The department doesn't attend our internal businesses. Thank you very much, Chair. Do you want me to confirm the members that are present in this meeting?
Yes, Lindy, you must also do that. Thank you very much for that explanation. I was looking at the number, forgetting that at least it's only us that are present today. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chair. Today is the 19th of...
And apologies,
Okay, Chair.
if there are any.
Yes, Chair. Today, I have the following members that are in attendance of this meeting to adopt the BRRR and other outstanding reports of the committee. We have you, Member Mvana, as the chairperson of this committee. We have Member Abrahams, we have Member Van der Merwe, we have Member Hlongo, we have Member Stock, we have Member Pilankulu, we have Member Aris, we have Member Masango, and we have Member Mare. Chair, I didn't receive any apologies from the members of the portfolio committee unless they will do so during the course of the meeting. Thank you very much, Chair.
Lindy, I'm present.
Oh, Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, maybe somebody admitted you. I'm sorry for that omission. And Member Mangani is also here, Chair. We're a quorum, we can adopt the report in minutes. Thank you very much. Sorry, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Lindy. If we are able to take decisions and we correct, let's proceed with our meeting. Will you please, Lindy, I assume that we accept apologies as they are and we allow ourselves as we are present. Can you then flight the agenda, Lindy? Honorable members, there is the agenda. Lindy has flighted it. And yeah, now we are on item 1, 2, 3, 4, item 4, the adoption of the agenda as it has been proposed. Lindy has done it by telling us that consideration and adoption of the budgetary review, BRRR, for 2021-2022 financial. Consideration and adoption of the committee report on fourth quarter of the Departmental of Social Development, and then consideration and adoption of the first of the department. Then also the last one will be consideration and adoption of fourth term committee program. We have to look at that. Then we have to deal with those minutes, the string of minutes of the 2nd, 7th, and 9th. And also, 12 and 14. I mean, are they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yo, string of minutes. Can we then adopt the agenda as proposed? Can I see the hands of the honorable members? Honorable Kate Bilakulu.
Good morning, Chairperson, and good morning, everyone on the platform.
Morning.
I move for the adoption of the agenda as proposed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bilakulu. And then who seconds the adoption of this agenda? Honorable Masango.
Yes, Chair, good morning.
Morning, good morning. Please.
I just would like to second the adoption of the agenda as proposed. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Bridget. Thank you very much, Honorable Bridget Masango. Let me not call people Bridget, Katie. Let me call them Honorable Masango and Honorable. I'm correcting myself, Honorable members. Thank you very much. I'm cautious now. Thank you very much for that adoption and secondment. Then can we then go to this, where the agenda has been seconded, and then can we then go to the first item? Lindy, can you lead us on this one?
The report on the BRRR is combined by the content advisor. She is the one that will take the committee through the report and the other two reports. So through you, Chair, I can allow her to do so. Through you, Chair, can you give permission to do that? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Secretary of the Committee, Ms. Lindy Wensabo. Can we give over to the content advisor by the name of Lisa Kanye? Will you please take us through?
Okay.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good
I cannot
morning.
say Yoli. Please forgive me about that. I
Okay.
am being corrected not to call people by their nicknames and names. Over to you, Content Advisor, Ms. Kanye.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I understand it's a formal meeting. Yes, Chair. Thanks for this opportunity and good morning to you, to the members and to my colleagues and any stakeholders that we have in present. Chairperson, I seek your guidance or the guidance of the committee. The report in its entirety is 62 pages. I have extracted the observations that committee made, or let me say the deliberations, and the responses that were given by the department on the meetings of last week, Friday's meeting, and the recommendations that the committee has made. But still, even those that separate a document, it has 20 pages, Chairperson. So that's why I said I seek a guidance. Should I go through all these 20 pages? Or what I did, Chairperson, after having gone through the questions and the responses, then I developed recommendations based on the questions that I felt that the committee needed to make recommendations on, because other questions were just clarity seeking questions or the number of stakeholders, those kind of questions, Chairperson, that didn't necessarily fit into the recommendations. But what I can do is, as I present the recommendations, I can just remind the members what were the issues that they had raised that I made the recommendation based on. So there are two options, Chair. The one I just explained now, or me going through all the 20-page document, reading it, Chair, which I think the members are familiar with, that they ask and the questions and the responses that were given. So can I just get clarity on that, Chair, please?
Thank you, Yoli. Can I get the direction from the members? I'm not going to prescribe and bulldoze them on what should happen, but I will hear from them. Can I get an advice on how do we, otherwise, as the chairperson, I was going to suggest that you remind us on where we have taken the resolutions and but otherwise you gave us on time, the report was with us and we are able to remember the pages. But if you can just highlight on page so there was this and that and that and that and summarize it. There is a hand of Honorable Bridget Masango. Bridget, Honorable Masango.
No, thank you, Chair. I put my hand down as you were outlining how what your recommendation is, and I tend to agree with it because both the 62 and 20-page reports might be a bit daunting to go through and actually make succinct recommendations. But I think the recommendation or the proposal that the content advisor was outlining as the second option is what I believe will make the meeting go smoother and quicker for the meeting. Thank you, Chair. Given the fact that we received the report in good time for us to go through it ourselves. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Bridget. I think you are seconding what I was saying. So let's proceed like that, Content Advisor. Just take us into confidence in terms of highlighting where you are going to allow us to focus on.
Okay,
Over
thank you, Chair.
Content.
Thank you, Chairperson. So I just I just wanted, Chair, as a start, maybe go back to the presentation of the Auditor General, because he made, or the office made some recommendations to the committee. So maybe just to remind the members of what was recommended for the committee by the AG. Then thereafter, Chair, I will go directly to the last part, which is on the recommendations that I drafted based on the observations and findings or comments made by the members on annual reports. Chairperson, as a start, these are the recommendations that the Office of the Auditor General made to the committee. The first one is that the committee must monitor the accountability ecosystem of the social development portfolio to ensure that all role players or assurance providers effectively exercise their roles to improve the audit outcomes and ensure service delivery is provided by the social development portfolio. This was based on the audit findings, Chairperson, on the financial performance of the department and the DSD and the entities, Chairperson. And the second one was the committee actively engages with all role players within the accountability system to ensure that appropriate measures to resolve the material irregularities are effectively implemented. I think this one refers to SASSA. The committee obtains a progress report from SASSA Accounting Authority regarding the status of investigations, and if finalized, the action taken to address the immaterial irregularities through implementation of relevant actions taken against all implicated officials and the recoveries were appropriate. That's another Chairperson finding that the committee felt very strongly about, which I have made recommendation as well on it based on the issues raised by the committee. That the committee, the next recommendation, requests SASSA Accounting Authority to present a plan of action regarding the implementation of all recommendations AXA made as included in the audit report for the 350 grants material irregularity to ensure that actions are implemented within due date as stipulated. I have also made a recommendation, Chairperson, on the same issue, because the committee also raised, or it was another main focus of the deliberations from the committee as well. The committee follows up on the implementation of consequence management for long-term outstanding cases, follow up on the process that SASSA is following to obtain all relevant databases to validate payments to only valid beneficiaries for the SRD grant, follows up on the action to recover payments from invalid beneficiaries and further action taken for claiming benefits that are not due to the individual. So, Chair, these are the recommendations that were made by the Auditor General to the committee, which I'm now going to present. I've made recommendations as well from what the committee deliberated on the annual reports. Then the rest was just the observations made by the committee and the responses given, Chairperson. That's why I'm just scrolling fast on those ones. And then the main focus now, the gist of this presentation, Chair, is on the recommendations. I've then grouped them for the department, for the two entities. Then the first one, Chair, this one is based on the concern that the committee made based on the findings of Auditor General regarding the performance, the impact of the department's programs and targets on the ground, that what is presented to the committee does not necessarily become evident on the ground as they do their constituency work, and also on the AG's finding that some other targets were not verifiable. So this is the recommendation then, Chair, I've made on this one. The minister should ensure that the department during the 2022-2023 financial year strengthens its impact analysis of its policies, programs, and targets, and reports on it on its quarterly and annual reports to Parliament, meaning this committee. The department should strengthen its performance reporting controls across all 5 programs to ensure that all reported targets are verifiable. That's that, Chair. The next one Okay, the committee also raised questions regarding the implementation of the recommendations of the AG, where they wanted to know how many were implemented, how many were not implemented. So based on that question, Chair, I made this recommendation that the department minister should ensure that the department from 2022-2023 financial year, it incorporates its responses and or implementation of AG's findings and recommendation in its quarterly and annual performance reports. Another recommendation, Chair, it says that it's on the findings of the Auditor General as well regarding the non-compliance with legislation and procurement and contract management, which the AG highlighted that this is a repeat finding, meaning it also found, it made same findings in the previous year, as well as now the year under review. So the recommendation is that the minister should ensure that the department during the 2022-2023 financial year addresses the Auditor General's repeat findings on non-compliance with legislation on procurement and management. Chair, there was another concern that was raised that is about the achievement of targets, particularly those ones related to the legislation, the victim support bill and other bills that were delayed or they were not achieved due to delays from the other stakeholders like the officer, the Office of the Chief State Law Advisor and other stakeholders chairperson. So there are those dependencies that the performance of the department depends on for them to be achieved or implemented. So based on that, I drafted this recommendation, Chair. The minister should ensure that the department develops mechanisms to address the challenge of dependencies to other stakeholders that result in it not achieving some of the key targets, particularly those linked to the medium-term strategic framework. These dependencies affect service delivery and compromise the ethical governance and accountability. The next one, Chair, relates to the issue of vacancies, which the committee has raised a few times already. I think the past two BRRRs, it had made recommendations on the vacancy issue. The minister should ensure that the department implements the committee's recommendation made in 2019 and 2020 budget review and recommendations report that the long-standing vacancies, particularly at senior management level, are filled during the 2022-2023 financial year. Then this one, Chair, it relates to a concern that was also raised by the members that when they do their constituency work or when they want some information or queries from the provincial departments, that there seems to be a lack of understanding or appreciation of the role of Parliament when it comes to its mandate to conduct oversight. So the recommendation I made is that the minister should ensure that the department trains and clearly communicates to provincial departments the constitutional oversight role of Parliament. It is important that queries or requests for information by members of Parliament are responded to. So, Chair, these are the recommendations I made based on the questions and the responses that I received from the department, questions that were made by the committee as they were deliberating as far as DSD is concerned. Maybe, I don't know, should I pause here, Chair, or should I go straight to the entity?
Okay. I don't think you have to. Say, honorable members are no. Whatever that they would like to add, or they would like to the report.
Chair, line was-
ahead.
Hello, Chair.
Hello.
We didn't hear you at all.
Oh, I was saying,
We can't hear you, Chair.
A content advisor. Oh, I'm noting. Oh gosh, Yoli, go ahead.
Okay, Chair.
Honorable
your
members
line
are
is very
noting.
bad. Okay.
Mine, ne?
Yes, Chair, you're breaking. But
Okay.
anyway,
Let me again move and get another place. Continue. No,
okay. All right, Chair. We go now to SASSA. There was a finding that the Auditor General made regarding the target that was not met by SASSA, which relates to the targets for the MTSF period, and that is about relating to the children below the age of 1 receiving the children's grant, that it didn't meet the targeted number it had set. So the recommendation is based on a recommendation that was made by the committee earlier, that the SASSA should explore engaging with Department of Health to introduce a similar registration system that it has with Department of Home Affairs. So the recommendation is as such: the minister should ensure that SASSA during the 2022-2023 financial year explores the committee's recommendation of engaging with the Department of Health to implement a registration system for children's grant at healthcare facilities as a possible solution to reaching all eligible children below the age of 1. And the committee also sought the opinion of the Auditor General on this one. And the Auditor General said it is a plausible solution, and that SASSA might probably need to explore. So that's why I've included it, Chair, as a recommendation as well. On the issue of the database, which the members also raised, same as the Auditor General, I made this recommendation. The minister should ensure that the department, as part of its oversight role, works with SASSA and engage with organs of state supplying SASSA with databases, with the aim of ensuring that SASSA receives databases on time. This is to ensure that delays in the payment of SRD grants are eliminated. This is particularly important as the department is currently working on reforms towards development of a comprehensive social security, which includes introduction of the basic income grant. This one, Chair, I thought I should add, because for now, we don't know whether the SRD grant will be eliminated, it will be extended, sorry, or not. But even if it's not extended, this recommendation may still hold, take into consideration that there are these discussions and proposed reforms for the introduction of the basic income grant, which is maybe in terms of administration and payment similar to the SRD grant payments situation. So that's why I thought I should add that last line, Chair. The next one is regard to the integration of databases across the department is similar to the one before. The minister at an interministerial level and the department at an interdepartmental level should accelerate discussions on the development of an integrated database system to enable SASSA to obtain real-time data needed for the processing and payment of social grants. And I think this one, Chair, goes beyond the SRD grant, because SASSA also needs the database from other departments for other grants as well. For example, the Home Affairs and maybe the Department of Health as well. This one relates to the SRD grant payments to ineligible state officials. The minister should ensure that at the interministerial level, the recovery of monies paid through the SRD grant to ineligible state officials, as well as consequence management, are accelerated. The next one, Chair, is on the, it's similar to the one I made for the department, because the findings of the general apply to all the three, the entities of the social development portfolio, that the minister should ensure that SASSA from 2022-2023 financial year incorporates its responses or implementation of access findings and recommendation in its quarterly and annual performance reports. The next one is also similar to the one that was made for the department chair. The minister should ensure that SASSA during the 2022-2023 financial year addresses the Auditor General's repeat findings on non-compliance with legislation on procurement and contract management. Chair, when it comes to the NGA, I must say that the questions that were raised by the members, I couldn't really identify any recommendation, but the members may assist me because they know what they raised. Maybe there's somewhere where maybe I missed a point, but the recommendations that are under NGA are similar to the ones I just read for SASSA and the department regarding non-compliance with legislation, and also the reporting on the implementation of Auditor General's findings and recommendation in the quarterly and annual performance reports. But Chair, as it is, I'm just drafting. The members have the final say, and they may make inputs on the recommendations. So that's the end, Chairperson, of the recommendations that I could come up with. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Yoli. Let me give over to the honorable members for now, so that whatever that they would like to add can be able to be added, and what they need to delete, be deleted. Letitia, Honorable Aris, followed by Honorable Lizelle, followed by Honorable Lizelle and Honorable Masango. Honorable Aris, over to you.
Morning, Chair. Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I just want to check on the NDA. Remember the issue of the dysfunctional board was raised, and I don't see that it is reflected there. And then there was another issue in terms of the investigation of suspended employees that was reinstated without any disciplinary action. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Aris, Yoli is noting all this and will respond after that. Honorable Lizelle, followed by Honorable Masango.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and good morning to you again and to our colleagues. I think one of the issues that we keep on talking about, and we are not finding any solutions in this regard, although DG did mention it in his presentation. I think one of the suggestions I would like to make is that the Minister should table to Parliament an action plan for the employment of social workers, because he did allude to this action plan. My second point that I would like to propose is that we suggest that the Minister should, in conjunction with the leadership of SASSA, table to this committee a plan to deal with fraud at SASSA. I think the levels of fraud and that it's increasing, as well as that it's been highlighted by the AG, remains a concern. So that's my second point. And then my third point, we did discuss this as well, but I think the Minister, and we did say that it's one of the issues that we want to expedite. I think the Minister should table a financial mismanagement or misconduct, consequence and recovery report, indicating what progress has been made regarding holding to account those officials who have committed financial misconduct or fraud offences. I think that is also important, because that information remains silent year after year. We don't see consequence management happening, so we can refine that sentence. But I think we do need a consequence management for financial misconduct cases report. So those are my 3 points. Thank you, Chair.
Very Honorable Richard.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think for me, I'm covered by the report as it stands, but I just want to find out from the content advisor if the issue of the reports by the department and entities with the impact of, for example, of the targets that are not met on the people on the ground, if that is a report, if that is a recommendation that is strong enough to actually put forward as a proposal to be one of the recommendations. And the reason why I'm saying this, Chair, is because the lady from the AG, when she was making a presentation, had a very clear link of the lack of achieving targets to, for example, she mentioned something like the outcry on the ground because of the challenges people are having to access the grants of SASSA. And I'm just saying that for me would be very helpful for us, because we are forever saying that what we get on presentations does not translate to what we see on the ground. And I believe that was amongst the first recommendations that Yolisa presented to us. But I am looking for a standalone proposal or recommendation for this to be some kind of a culture of reporting to us, that we get a clear link between the achieved or non-achieved targets to the detriment that they pose to the people who are the recipients or the beneficiaries of the services of the department and its entities. That is one thing. And the second thing, Chairperson, is I just wanted to stress, I don't know if it's strong enough as it is, because it is amongst the recommendations that we have heard this morning. The issue of the provinces being conscientized of the importance of our oversight as Parliament. And I wanted to give an example that I asked a question. This may be totally irrelevant, but I just want to strengthen my point about this, that I asked a question to the department, and when I got the answer back, there are provinces that just didn't give the information. It's nil, no information received, and I take that to be very it's just a dereliction of duty by a department, by a provincial department, to not even respond. And so for me, it undermines the importance of the oversight that as a committee, or as the value of parliamentary oversight over the work of provincial departments, as it were. I don't know if it needs strengthening. I don't know if it's okay as it is, but I just thought I would mention that, Chairperson. And the third thing is also, I think it's partly covered in the recommendations, but it is, and also was mentioned by Honorable Van der Merwe just now. I have a huge oversight challenge with a situation where members or officials of a department or its entities, it is entities, an entity at this stage, where they are mentioned in in findings of the misconduct misconduct that has happened, but they are just working. Nothing is done to them. They are just continuing to work, and the minister is aware of this, obviously, because those findings she's the client to receive those findings, but nothing is happening to them. And I'm saying that is not the right thing. What is it, as the portfolio committee, can we say in these recommendations to actually say that that is not right, and we see it as not being right, and something has to be done about it? And lastly, Chair, I know that I see that we are saying that in this report, and rightly so, we are saying that going on, so 22 to 23, these things must happen. I'm saying, what about the retrospective? Should we deal with that separately to say we need these action plans? We have been asking for them. We have not received them. What about the period of reporting that we are dealing with now, or the period of reporting of 2021 to 2022, to have those action plans to deal with these issues that are really impacting on the performance of the department and its entities when it comes to the things like your consequence management, your longer outstanding investigations, your issues such as your leases and all those things. We still, I believe we deserve those action plans. Just happen, or we're having discussions with DPWI for leases, or we're having this, and there's no action plan that one can look at and be able to track it and actually say to the minister, we have this action plan, some of these things have not been done, why is that? And be able to get that kind of reporting that is empowering us to track these things and be able to tell our constituencies what is going on, what is being done about these things. Thank you, Chair. I'm sorry I've taken long, but I just feel very strongly about this.
Thank you, Honorable Masango. Welcome, Honorable Polnitz. Happy to be with you in this meeting. You are given an opportunity to do and deliberate the report. Over to you, Honorable Marie.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you for the messages. I came out of hospital on Monday evening. I'm still on sick leave, but I just had to log in to listen to the discussion. Chair, my colleagues have covered me on most of the things, no? But if you look at the oversight, I want to emphasize what Bridget was saying, is that last week I was again at the offices, and you know what the managers are saying to you, that you must make an appointment if you want to come and see them. Oversight is the reason for going to see when things are going wrong, because if you're going to make an appointment, they're going to make sure everything is perfect. You can't go and do oversight and everything is perfect. You must go see where the problems are. And at my oversight as well, Chairperson, we discussed this thing of the top-up, and I'm bringing it up again because it's a very important issue. Foster care cannot fall away. These ladies just gave me information to say that foster care is no longer in existence. They are just giving the families the top-up. How is that possible? How many children will stay in foster care if we are saying we are just giving it to the families and we're just giving the top-up to the families? They don't even know the circumstances of the families. And then again, the thing of the social workers is very important, Chairperson. The social workers that is unemployed sitting at home, that went through the department, social workers that is working at the very moment, where I'm coming from oversight. There's 10 social workers working in one office, but they only have one car. They each one get an hour per week to go and do their work as a social worker. How can you do your work and be competent to do your work if you don't have transport to take you where you want to be? You know, it is then useless you being a social worker, but you're sitting in the office the whole day. And then the other thing I also want to discuss, Chair, is the thing of the disability, children with disabilities. No one is saying a lot about that. The minister need to come up with a plan on how we're going to address the issue of the disability, children with disabilities. Chairperson, the problem that I'm having is the information, like Bridget was saying just now, is not going down to the provinces. When you go to the provinces, these people are clueless of what you are saying. And this is very important if we discuss things in the committee and things has been accepted in the committee, it must go down to the provinces and to the regions so people know what was discussed. But if you have something on a piece of paper and no one knows about it, it is basically useless. So again, my plea is that the committee have to look at the plan, like Honorable van der Merwe was saying, we need to have a plan in place to say this is how we're going to do things as Department of Social Development. It is very important that we know where we are going. Everyone is having a plan, a 5-year plan or a 10-year or a 20-year plan. We need to have a plan and say within the next 5 years, this is what we want to happen in the Department of Social Development and how it's going to happen and how we're going to get to the total that we agreed upon, you know. So that is the things that I also want to contribute, Chair. But thank you very much for everything. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Marie, Honorable Marie. Let's understand that you were not really present last time, but you are in order in terms of what needs to be added in the report that has been discussed by us previously. I know for a fact that other things are things that you would like us to also note them and have a strategy and plan on it. Honorable members, I also want to remind you that we agreed that we have to have a strategic plan in terms of getting a workshop and get all these things that we would love the department to have it in terms of the entities and all the stuff that we always sometimes don't have time to discuss them. Thank you ever so much, honorable members. There is a hand by the name of Zoom user. I don't know that one. Who is it?
It's mine, Chairperson.
Okay, Honorable Mangani, you are welcome. Over to you.
Thank you, Chair. I must really comment Yoli about the report that she have suggested to us. I wanted to maybe caution the committee because of the issue of data. I don't hear it appearing because when we were with the Auditor General and the department, the Auditor General alluded that it's difficult for the department, social development, to get the data because the data belongs, is only if government can assist about those kind of data. But I don't know how can I coin it. I wanted to maybe to provoke other members to include it, but must have a weight because it will be recurring also, the issue of data. People will be paid, those who are not supposed to be paid because the social development doesn't have its own data. So I just wanted to raise this issue. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mangani. Then maybe we have also to see Zoom user. Okay, no other hands. Can we give over to Yoli to explain some of other things? Because I remember vividly the one that has been raised by Honorable Mangani. It's with the auditor's report, whether we have also to include it Or is it okay in that section where because Honorable Mangani is quite correct that social development is struggling to get the data. And now it makes it impossible, but we have to have and come up with something on how do we think this data can be collected so that social development doesn't pay people that what do we call them? People that are not supposed to get the grant, but as Honorable Jane Mangani has said. Content advisor, can you clarify some other issues on this? And then others, you will just add them as honorable members has requested them to be added. Over to you, Yuri.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. The first question for the NDA board, Chair, I didn't include that. Yes, the question was raised on the appointment of the NDA board. And the acting CEO explained that the appointment of the board will be finalized it's about to be finalized. So it is there. I think he said they're waiting for the minister to sign or something. So it's already something that he said, I think end of October or November, the appointment would have been made. So that's why, Chair, I didn't put it there. And that one is also linked with the appointment of the CEO. Can I just finish? The appointment of the CEO, Chair, because he said that as soon as the board is appointed, then the board will then appoint a CEO. The advert was already drafted and it's just waiting to be put out for in the newspapers or wherever it is advertised. Okay, Chair, I just wanted to finish that line. I still remember Aris wants to say something.
Who wants to say something?
Chair, sorry that I can interrupt. Sorry about that. But Chair, that can't be that. We are taking the word of now. You already said that the CEO or the acting CFO has indicated that they're about to finish the process. Chair, that we cannot take that. Right now, as we speak, we are busy with this report, and right now the board is not in place. So it needs to be mentioned in that report.
Thank you, Honorable Aris. I was about to say to Yoni that she must also note that because this report is what we were discussing. So if the CEO said so, that must be indicated that it's in progress, and she said that it will be finalized soon. She must also indicate what we were discussing on that. So she must put it and edit. It's fine. And then the other one, whose hand is that? Oh, Honorable Stock.
Hand is up, yes, Chair.
Honorable Stock's hand is up. Okay. Can you please lower your hands, Honorable Lizel van der Merwe and Honorable Aris? Honorable Stock, over to you.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and then everybody that is in the platform. A very good morning to all of you. I just want to indicate as a disclaimer up front that this is the meeting that I was in and out. Remember, I had interviews in my constituency, so I was in and out of the meeting. But on this very specific issue on the NDA, I followed up. I was part of the meeting, and then I listened to the presentation, even when the acting CEO was presenting. And also what I need to indicate also, Honorable Chairperson, is that from where I'm sitting, the issue of the board, the appointment of the board, the appointment of the CEO and what, it has been coming for quite some time now. And I think as honorable members, we have been lamenting on that issue. And I also share the same frustration like Honorable Aris and other honorable members in the meeting. Because it was presented, this acting CEO said, this is what is going to happen, this is what is going to happen, the board, the minister is waiting approval and all of that. But I think for our own purposes and our own processes, Honorable Chairperson, I think there's nothing that prevents us as a portfolio committee to say this is what happened as part of the recommendation. Like the chair also, you were indicating that we need to include it because it was raised in the meeting. But from our side as a portfolio committee, this is what we are actually highlighting as part of the recommendations. So I'm in full support to support the proposal of Honorable Aris to put it there. I can hear she's frustrated. And yes, all of us, I'm sure we are all frustrated because this issue has been coming. We've been given the same explanation over and over, and then hence the frustration from some of the honorable members, including myself. So I just wanted to add my voice to say that's also included as part of the recommendations. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Whip. We fully understand that you were in and out in the meeting, but thank you very much for your contribution. I think we are in agreement that even that one really falls under the repetitive findings by the committee, because as you have said, Honorable Stock, that this has been coming up a long way. We are going to finish the term without achieving anything from these two things that have been raised by honorable members. So that's why it is critical for you to add it and be very strong on it, not on a lighter note. Thank you very much. And then what are other issues, honorable members, that would love to be added or deleted? Is that all in this one? So that we can proceed to the other report. And maybe we have to say this one with amendments, we provisionally agree with it because we have come to adopt these reports.
Chair, I just want to continue with other inputs that were made by members, just to respond.
Okay.
Yes, Chair. All right, Chairperson, I take the advice from Mama Aris and Honorable Stock. I will add that one and also link it to the appointment of the CEO. So I'll make a recommendation on that one, Chair. Thank you very much. The other suggestion from Honorable Van der Merwe. Okay, yes, I have no comment. I will just craft a recommendation on those ones, Chair. Same as the one on the reinstatement of employees that were suspended. Okay, the others are just pretty straightforward. Okay, the one on the action plans. Chair, I remember, I think Sustainable we can also assist here. I think since 2019, if I'm not mistaken, or 2020, we have been having every quarter the standing agenda item of inviting the DSD and entities to report on the action plans. And I think on this term program, there is an item on that one, Chairperson. But I stand to be corrected, but I think there is an item on the action plans. So, and also in that recommendation where it is stated that the annual reports and the quarterly reports should also report on the implementation of the Auditor General's implementation recommendations. I think that's also part of committee monitoring the plans of the department and its entities. The one on foster care, again, Chair, on this term, as we've been doing for the past years, the committee, there is an agenda item there on the report back on the progress made on foster care, especially that the deadline of the court is end of November, which is not the coming month. So there is an agenda item on that one, Chairperson. The one on the children with disabilities, Chair, I think my advice would be that as a committee, part of our oversight, we maybe include in our term programs. I would see maybe this term as well, if there's an opening system, we advise better that we invite a department to come and present on policies and programs that it has in place with regards to services for children with disabilities. I think it's a very important item that Mama Marie is raising, that the committee can include in its term programs. In terms of the plans and the annual plans and of the department. Yes, Chair, that's a valid point, and I was thinking about the 5-year strategic plans and APPs that the committee considered and approve of the departments, where they table what they plan to do for the years and on an annual basis, that we now doing the oversight in terms of their implementation through the annual reports. The workshop with the department, Assistant, will talk about that. It was proposed in this term, a program that she will present after I finish this item, Chair. And the one of Mama Manganye, the database, Mama, there is a recommendation that I made. Maybe I can flight it again so that you can see if it satisfies maybe your input. Just I'll read it again, Chair. Oh, just, okay, I'm back. What was it? Okay, it should be SASA. Okay, here it is. Here it is, Mama, on bullet number 2. It reads, the minister should ensure that the department, as part of its oversight role, works with SASSA and engage with organs of state supplying SASSA with database, with the aim of ensuring that SASSA receives databases on time. This is to ensure that delays in the payment of the SRD grant are eliminated. This is particularly important as the department is currently working on the forms towards development of a comprehensive social security, which includes introduction of the basic income grant. That's the recommendation that addresses the issue of the database. And while I'm there, Chair, I just, the inputs made by Mama Masango, and also Mama Ray regarding the oversight role of Parliament. I just included this line that she mentioned that by provincial departments not responding to the queries or requests for information by members, it actually constitutes a dereliction of duty. So as a point of emphasis, I just included that line that Mama Masango, that sentence that she came up with. And then the one on the impact of policies and programs or targets, I just included that the reports that will be presenting to the committee, that which I just I alluded to in the paragraph, that they should outline a clear link of the impact of non-achievement of targets to the people on the ground. I hope Mama Sango, this addresses your input, ma'am. Okay, that's what I wanted to respond to, Chair, and I see Mama Ari's hand is up.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Chair, did you give me permission to speak?
I didn't. I didn't. Okay, but
Yeah,
we can
at
give it
least
to
we are
you.
busy making history for once. I was getting the support from stock, which is good. History in making, and I had the chance to speak.
No, this is a committee. You can get whatever secondment and also agreement with anyone from the committee.
I'm just joking, man.
Joking, okay. I'm also joking, my colleague.
Chair, can I have? Thank you, Chair. I just want to check because I have raised the issue of drug rehabilitation, because we are facing this problem of young people. I have seen a recent article also, and I've raised that in my questions in terms of the programs and the shortage of drug rehabilitation, public drug rehabilitation centers and programs.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. You know, there was a point that was saying information must be cascaded down to provinces by Honorable Marais, which I think that one is really obvious. We have to. But what we need to do is to monitor and check whether how far have they gone with that. We never discuss it, but it is an obvious thing. Whenever there is something here in national, they have to cascade it down to provinces, from provinces to regions. But maybe we have to come up with strategy and ways and means of monitoring on how are they doing it as oversight, honorable members. But I took note of the concern by Honorable Marie.
Chair?
Can we? Yes, Honorable Mangai.
I was just saying, I fully agree with the issue of data that Yoli have put it on. I miss it, but I agree fully 100%. And then the issue that you are talking about, Chairperson, always there should be MECs of the province. Those are the ones that's supposed to take everything that we are discussing here down to their province. What is their role? If the national have to go down there, cascading, while the MEC are part and parcel of MINMEC and what, also attending our meetings sometimes. What is their role? Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Mangai. You are right. That one is obvious, as I have said, because it's their role really to take the information to. And maybe, Tina, really, as we are oversight people or honorable members, we have to check whether the information is really cascaded down and interact with it and check whether is it going really down as we want. So you are right, Honorable Mangai. It is critical because you get some provinces that are lax and not doing anything about something that has been discussed and something that you have heard when we were having a portfolio committee meetings. You don't know exactly what is it that is taking part. Honorable members, is there anything in this report in particular, because Yoli has to proceed and go to other reports?
Sorry, Chair,
Nothing
it's
for now.
Yoli. Just
Yoli?
sorry, Chair. Yes, just just a second. The concern Mama Sango regarding the implicated employees who are still working. I thought, Chairperson, when I draft that recommendation made by Honorable Van der Merwe about the report on consequence management, then I will also maybe include that as part of that recommendation. But it's still a draft now. It doesn't read very well, Chair. But I will include that comment on this one, Chair. Thank you. I just ignore it, Chair.
Okay, Yoli, you have taken note of it. Thank you very much for that. Can we allow you to go straight to the other report?
Chair,
Lindy.
just for so-called apologies for interjection. I would advise that before we proceed to the next report, how about the committee to adopt this particular report, the BRRR, and then we move to the next report, Chair. That's a suggestion.
Okay. Rather than to deal with them zonke on the same time, Ulindi is suggesting that let's provisionally adopt this one in particular and with amendments, exactly. Can I get the hand from the members to provisionally adopt this one with amendments and addition as it has been added? I will adopt it by myself. No hands.
No, Chair.
Honorable
Richard.
Mangani.
Oh,
Oh, I don't see any person raise hand. I heard your voice. I know your voice. Honorable Mangani.
Thank you
And,
very much, Chair. I move for the adoption, Chairperson. I move this report for the adoption.
with amendments.
With
Thank you very
amendments.
much.
Thanks.
Thank you, with amendments. Honorable Masango, though I don't see your hand, but I heard your voice.
I'm so sorry, Chair. I just wanted to, now I'm moving for, I'm seconding the motion for the adoption of.
With amendments, okay? Honorable Masango is seconding the adoption of this report with amendments, Yuli. Then we can move to the second report.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. I will start with the fourth quarter report. And then finish off with the third quarter, with the first quarter of this financial year. Sorry, Chair. Okay, I've just screened it. I hope the members can see it. Chair, are we following the same procedure that I just go straight to the observations? If so, then Chair, I'll just continue.
Continue, Yuli, as we
Okay.
did in the previous one. And
Yes,
then
Chair.
if there is anything, because we got this earlier, we will definitely draw your attention to that one and also highlight whatever that was on discussion and you need to give us to note them. You can do it as you did. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, the first observation that was made by the committee, it congratulated the department for finalizing the monitoring and evaluation system and reducing the irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. It, however, wanted to know the reason it was not successful in recouping the 54.4 million unauthorized expenditure from the SASSA that resulted from operational costs of the COVID-19 hotline. The department explained that it struggled to get the reimbursement from SASSA because SASSA had to first go through the procurement process. The department ended up paying the costs, but it will eventually claim the amount from SASSA. Maybe, Chair, just to remind the members, with the annual report presentation, I think one of the members also raised a question on this. The department reported on the environments that it had to make so that it can make payments for this hotline. So that was part of the annual report presentation on this one, that the department paid using environments from the other programs of the committee, of the department. Then the committee also wanted to know what the draft sector strategy for employment of social workers aims to address and how is it different to other existing strategies. It made reference to the previous week's march of the social workers to the union building, highlighting the flight of the blight of 9,000 unemployed social workers. The department reminded the committee that the 2019, the cabinet took a resolution for relevant department to employ social workers. However, in practice, these departments see the employment of social workers as the primary responsibility of DSD. The strategy aims to reinforce the resolution by assisting the sector departments to understand their needs for social service professionals. It is also broadening the scope of the entire cohort of social service professionals. In addition, the department has taken a responsibility to mobilize funding from National Treasury for the employment of social workers, even for the sector department. This is because this department tend to prioritize their home mandates when allocating their budgets. It was expecting a response from National Treasury by end of September 2022 for its bid of 9 billion. Thus far, National Treasury has seen the challenge of shortage of social workers and appreciates the fact that social workers are the first point of call to address social ills compared to police, for example. The department has also taken an approach that the funds being ring-fenced, and it would monitor its expenditure by the sector department. The strategy is also addressing the increase in social ills by regulating a working relationship between DSD and local governments, as it can be a major recruiter of the social service professionals. The department will revise on how it can use retired social workers. So, Chair, I think this one also relates to the recommendation that I will then draft from Honorable Van der Merwe, that a department should come and table a formal plan on the absorption of social workers, and probably as well the strategy that it has developed with the sector department. So I'll include that, Chairperson, as part of recommendation as well on that particular one. The committee wanted to know when the draft policy on maternal benefits and the draft policy linking child support grant beneficiary to government services will be finalized. The department reported that it was still consulting on them, and the reason it was taking long was that the consultation involved other 4 departments. It needed to obtain the support from these departments before it tables it to Parliament. It envisages to finalize the process by the end of the current financial year. The committee further raised a concern that what is seen on paper is good, but the outcomes are not felt on the ground, particularly with regard to the rising in substance abuse, GBV, and violence against children. This raises a concern that these plans may not be effective addressing these social ills. The department explained that the GBV is an intersectoral matter that is led by the Department of Youth, Children, and People with Disabilities, and so the impact will be realized when all the departments work together. DSD implements Pillar 4 of the National Strategic Plan on GBV and is currently targeting institutions of higher learning. It is providing prevention and trauma counseling. It also has programs targeting men and boys. Substance abuse is also a multisectoral issue guided by the National Drug Master Plan, which identifies 13 key departments. DSD is working with the Medical Research Council, whose research revealed that the country has a serious problem of underage drinking. It has also developed a program of action and has submitted it to Parliament. The program of action highlights the problem of poor regulations of taverns and advertising, which is mainly in the domain of the Department of Trade and Industry. It is also upscaling access to substance abuse treatment programs. It noted that prevention programs of substance abuse and GBV have long-term outcomes. Okay, the next one, Chair, the committee also wanted update on the payment of SRD grant. Also, if the child support grant, top-up grant also stop when the child turns 18 years, whereas the foster child grant can be paid until the child turns 21. Okay, the department explained that the grant ends at 18 years because it builds on the current child support grants, which ends at 18 years. The committee wanted to know what caused the delay in finalizing and submission of the policy on social development services to persons with disabilities to cabinet for approval. It was a concern about the impact this will have on services to people with disabilities. The department explained that it took time to develop the policy and it has been a legacy project. It was earlier rejected by the social cluster. The cluster advised that the department needed to wait for the white paper on disability to be finalized. Now that the white paper was finalized, the policy was revised and resubmitted to the social cluster. The policy is a review of the previous policy, so the services to people with disability continue to be provided at provincial level. The next point, the committee also sought clarity on the capacity issues of the Office of the State Law, Chief State Law Advisor, and what interventions may be from Parliament to prevent delays in processing referred amendment bills. This was not addressed, Chair. The next one, it wanted to know what the department was doing to address internal inefficiencies that resulted in targets not being met. The department reported that it has been working on fostering a shared organizational culture and a corporate culture, and this has assisted it in keeping track on the implementation of programs. Procurement patterns and operational plans are also closely monitored. It also develops standard operation procedures for business units. Okay, the next one. The committee commended the department for implementing development programs to capacitate its officials as they deal with complex issues. It wanted to know how often are these programs implemented. The department explained that it capacitates and monitors implementation of policies by provinces. It made reference to the 2019 UNISA study that revealed that there was an impact of programs in Mpumalanga. The committee noted that the department adjudicated 96.96% cases within 90 days. Wanted to know what appeals were mainly about. The department explained that even though it will be ideal to have lesser appeals, but it is a constitutional right for applicants who are not happy with the decision of SASSA to lodge an appeal. The 90% of the adjudication processes confirmed that SASSA's decisions were lawful and procedurally fair. 95% of the received were medical appeals related to the disability grant and the care dependency grant, because people with chronic diseases keep on applying. This raises a question that will need to be explored with the Department of Health on what services can be provided for people with chronic illnesses. The committee further wanted to know if the research that reported that there are 150,000 orphan children due to COVID-19 has any impact on the work of the department. The department responded that it had no understanding of the magnitude of these orphans except the number of people applying for the foster child grant. The study estimated the number of orphans based on how the HIV and AIDS pandemic led to a large increase of orphans. The department was embarking on an audit to identify and locate these orphans and who is taking care of them and determine if they are in need of care and protection. The department has requested to provide the committee with a list of all fruitless and wasteful expenditure cases. The committee wanted to know if there is an exit plan for the beneficiaries of the Community Nutrition Development Centers, the CNDCs. The department explained that it has a the program has a developmental arm, which is guided by a framework which requires beneficiaries to be skilled. Beneficiaries are trained in agricultural farming and the department creates markets for them. The department is also planning at establishing CNDCs in informal settlements. Okay. The committee reiterated its concern that the department's website does not have latest policies and regulations. The department acknowledged that its website is not user-friendly and the matter has been taken to the bid adjudication committee to start the bidding process for a service provider. The committee also raised a concern in relation to challenges with children with disabilities have with regard to gaining access to schools. It wanted to know what discussions the department had with the Department of Education to address this. It also raised a concern that there were issues that it had raised with the department but have not been addressed, such as the 8.2 million budget for NPOs. There's no clarity on the value for money and impact of programs and services rendered by the NPO sector. The minister had also raised this as a concern. Has the department conducted any cost-benefit analysis on the funds spent on the NPOs? The department responded that it has finalized the development of terms of reference for the cost-benefit analysis study. The committee wanted an update on the development and implementation of the electronic monitoring system for selected social development sector programs. The department explained that this is a 3-year project that requires substantial work to be done before it was developed to understand the needs and infrastructural needs. In the current financial year, the system will be piloted in 3 provinces, which revealed some challenges with the system that needed to be corrected. The department is working with the service provider to develop an implementation plan which will outline the tools of trade, capacity of capturers, which will involve costs. So, Chair, these are the deliberations that took place when the department presented its Q4 report for the previous financial year. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Yoli. Appreciate it. Now let's go to honorable members and do as such as expected. Honorable members. I don't see any hands. I only see Honorable Masango's hand. Can we give over to you for a while? Then we'll see, maybe other honorable members will follow. Over to you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you so much. And I mean, the reason why I took this long to raise my hand is because I believe that the report really aptly covers the issues that were raised by members. And while one has, there are responses that are very vague and general, but I don't know that that is a problem of the content advisor, because she captured very accurately as I bear to. Thank you so much, Chair. This is just my way of thanking Yoli for this.
Thank you, Honorable Masango. Honorable Aris.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. I think it is just a point of clarity. I remember I have raised this issue on the Central Drug Authority board. And, you know, because right now this committee don't know what they are doing and what are their functions. And I'm not sure if this was mentioned, and I'm not sure if this will be mentioned in this report, because we need to get a mechanism in place on what they are doing and monitoring system, because I mean, right now we have just appointed them and nobody's knowing what they're doing. Thank you.
Okay. Yoli.
Yes, Chair, thank you. Yes, Mama Aris is right. She raised it last week during the presentation of the annual report. It is there in the BRRR, Mama Aris, as a part of the deliberations on the annual report. And the response from the department was that the CDA, yes, reports to the minister, but it submits its annual report to Parliament. So it is up to us as a committee if the report has been tabled. I'm not sure, Chair, maybe we have to check with just Lindy. If it has been tabled, then it's for us now to put it on the program so that the committee can consider that report and interrogate it, Chair, so that it can then maybe address Honorable Ari's concern that the committee doesn't know what the CDA is doing. So if there is an annual report, then we will definitely put it in the program, Chair.
All right.
Thanks,
Okay.
Yoli.
Okay. Honorable, it's still Honorable Masango's hand that is up. It means all other honorable members are also covered. Lindy, do you have anything to say on this?
Mover and seconder of the report, Chair.
Okay. Can I get those hands? Honorable Alex,
Good morning, Chair. Good
Honorable Abraham.
Yes, good morning. I move for the adoption of the report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Abraham. The report has been adopted. And any seconder? Honorable Bilankulu.
I move to second, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Bilankulu. The report has been adopted by Honorable Abraham and seconded by Honorable Bilankulu. Oh, let's continue on Miss Miss Yoli to the next
Yes, Chair.
report. Over to you.
Okay. Okay. This is now the first quarter of 2022 to 2023, Chairperson. And I'm just going to scroll down to start from here. Okay. Okay, Chair, the first bullet point, it was in relation to the implementation of the integrated school health program, the Sinovuyo team. What I did, Chair, some of the comments or the questions that were raised by the members, I just grouped them and made them like a sub-theme so that to avoid a long pages of deliberations. And I'm trying to improve, Chairperson, the report writings to make it a bit more concise. So with this one, I just started doing this, which is different to the previous reports, Chairperson. So with regards to the development of monitoring tools of the implementation of the school health program, the Sinovuyo Teen Parent Digital Program and the Family Representative Program, the committee wanted to know the reason monitoring tools were only planned to be developed during the first quarter after the programs had already been developed. The department explained that the tools are mainly for operational purposes to monitor the implementation of the program so as to identify challenges and respond accordingly. The next one, Chair, was about the NPO registration, funding, and information management. The committee raised a number of issues relating to tracking of NPOs for compliance and funding by different departments, where the department has the same position as that, or whether the department has the same position as that of Gauteng DSD to insource service delivery than rely on NPOs. Steps put in place to ensure NPO compliance, whether non-compliance was the only reason that the department underspent on this function, and monitoring of performance and budget expenditure of NPOs. So these are all the issues that the committee had raised with regard to the NPOs. There was a concern that there are NPOs and NGOs that are working but are not paid on time. Even though there is non-compliance, NPOs do a lot of work for the department. The department explained that the registration and compliance tracking mechanism do not include tracking of funding of NPOs. It is still in the process of developing a system to track the funding, which will be implemented before the end of the current financial year. It does not hold the view as that of Gauteng DSD, and it will make a follow-up on it as it has far-reaching implications. To monitor performance on NPOs, the department officials visit communities through the roadshow programs where on-site reporting is done. It also created awareness programs on the importance of compliance. Furthermore, provinces forward a list of NPOs they intend to fund to the department, and it performs a compliance verification in its database. Also, on quarterly basis, the province submits their payments reports. With regard to funding, it makes payments in 2 tranches a year, and there is a strict monitoring that requires NPOs to submit their progress reports before funds are transferred. There was also questions that was raised on the summit on the social sector that the committee members attended to earlier this year. The committee further wanted to know the reason a group of 350 NPOs were not included in the social sector summit, even though they participated in 2019. The department explained that the summit was hosted in partnership with NEDLEG and the presidency. And because it was a wider platform, the department had to create streaming options for those who could not be accommodated. Also, the department was not able to accommodate every NPO due to budget limitations. However, together with NEDLEG and the presidency, it will process all the inputs these NPOs raised. In 2019, it could accommodate 3,000 NPOs, but due to budgetary constraints in 2022, it could only accommodate 600 NPOs. It is still to explore and discuss the suggestions of a single funding strategy of NPOs. Okay, with regard to over expenditure due to SRT grant hotline, the committee wanted to know the progress made in resolving this matter with SASSA. The department explained that this is a sensitive matter and it continues to pay it as it cannot terminate the contract to the detriment of beneficiaries. There is a continuing engagement with SASSA. SASSA is working on its procurement processes, and once finalized, the departments will be reimbursed. With regard to fruitless and wasteful expenditure, the committee queried why this expenditure has not been reported in latest quarterly reports. The department explained this was an oversight and it will be reported on in the coming report. For the period under review, it had 430,000 fruitless and wasteful expenditure, and it is 1,246 was recoverable and 232,000 was written off. Okay, Chair, with regard to the socio-economic impact analysis on draft policy on prevention and treatment of substance abuse disorders, the committee wanted to know the reason or reasons behind the delay in obtaining the certification. The department explained that this is the responsibility of Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation. There had been back and forth between the 2 departments because DPME needed more information on the policy. On Monday, 19th of September 2022, the department finally received the certificate. Adjudication of appeals. The committee wanted to know if the 306 of appeals adjudicated included appeals on SRT grant. The department reported that it includes appeals on SRT grant, and the sharp increase will be reflected in the second quarter reporting. On the wide strategy on the employment of social service professionals, the committee wanted to know the status on the submission of the joint bid for the funding of the employment of social workers to National Treasury. The department reported that it was submitted to National Treasury in July 2022 and was hoping it will receive feedback by October 2022. On the effectiveness of substance abuse treatment centers, the committee raised a concern regarding the effectiveness of substance abuse treatment centers, especially aftercare and reintegration services for users to communities. It has observed an increasing number of young people who committed suicide after they'd been released from the treatment centers, mostly from unregistered treatment centers. It wanted to know how is the department addressing this challenge of unregistered treatment centers. The department reported that it funds 13 public treatment centers and hundreds private treatment centers and SANCA facilities subsidized by provinces. In terms of legislation, provinces are required to close all unregistered treatment centers. With regard to the capacitation of 100 service practitioners on HIV testing service guidelines, the committee noted the Northern Cape Department did not participate in the capacity building and wanted to know the reason that was given. The department reported that the provincial department had cited competing priorities. However, training had already been done at the time of reporting. On the training of municipalities on integration of migration issues on the IDPs, the committee noted that the department did not achieve its target of training 23 municipalities. The department assured the committee that it would develop a catch-up plan that will ensure that all municipalities are trained during the current financial year. The last one, Chair, on teenage pregnancy and baby savers. The committee raised a concern regarding the high levels of teenage pregnancy in the country and wanted to know the department's view on the concept of baby savers. The department explained that it does not have any baby savers, but has 4 temporary safe care places where abandoned, neglected, abused children are placed for foster care and adoption. The country does not have any registered baby savers. That's the answer of that part of the report on Q1. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yuli, for the report of Q1. Honorable members, let's engage on Yuli's report. Honorable Abrams.
Yes, thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you to Yolisa for the report. Chairperson, I don't have a problem with the content of the report. I support it, but I just want to emphasize something and maybe ask you to maybe put it in action via committee secretary. And that is, Chairperson, you'll remember in that last point where I think it's the acting director for children, she spoke to the 74 temporary safe care for children. And then she also rattled off the number of bed spaces per province. And like that information, when they rattle off information like that, it's always best that we then get it down in writing, because we can't write as fast as what they reading it off. And I remember asking for it, and they committing to submitting that list of bed spaces per province for that 74 safe care places, but we are still yet to receive that. Then, Chairperson, again through you, would it be possible to ask our committee secretary to write to the department and actually ask them to send us now the completed policies? For example, the completed policy on the maternal support policy, the completed one on the linking of child support grant beneficiaries to government's basket of services. There's been a lot of policies that have been completed. Even the youth policy, we haven't seen, and it's not on their website. So that's just a request, Chairperson, that we write to the department to ask them to now share the policies, even if it means they need to share it via a WeTransfer if the size of the documents are too big and so forth. Then, Chairperson, I don't know if I should address this in this committee report or wait till we come to the program, but you will guide me. We spoke a lot in Q1 about NPOs and the department's, reliance on NPOs to fulfill their mandate. Because as we know, the department can't be everywhere all at the same time. And that's why, NGOs over the longest period of years have played a critical role. So it becomes a bit alarming, Chairperson, when we read about, provinces who are now doing their own thing, and they are, and I'm speaking about the Gauteng province specifically, where they are going to be insourcing more of the work that NPOs done in the state and under social development. And therefore, reviewing the funding model for NPOs. And I'm speaking about it now, Chairperson, because we constantly get complaints, and it's again in this report where, NPOs are either not paid on time or not paid in full, etc., etc. And here we have an entire province who has who's putting in place their own funding model and relationships with NPOs. And as we mentioned earlier, is not in sync with what National's doing, and especially in provinces where they don't even spend their full budgets, to be saying that NPOs haven't been effective in the province, and thus we are, we're going to be withdrawing funding and handling items in-house. And Chairperson, from looking at it, it's going to spell disaster. Because when you withdraw funding from an NPO, most of them are reliant on that funding, and therefore the service collapse before DSD can put in an alternative plan for, that program that they're running in a specific area that they're running. So again, Chairperson, maybe I should bring it again when we're busy with the program, but that for Gauteng province and then other MECs, to actually come and spend a session with the committee so that we can raise these matters directly with the MECs to have an understanding of what's going on in their province. And then again, through you, Chairperson, to actually request that the committee get sight of Gauteng's new NPO funding policy, so that when NGOs start calling us, we are aware of what Gauteng is actually doing. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Alex. Yeah, I understand your concern. And that's exactly what I was saying, that we have to have a way of monitoring on how the information goes down to the provinces and what are the provinces doing. But I don't think it was in the report. You are right by saying maybe we have to consider on where do we put it, because when we call the MECs, we have to also write the reasons why are we calling them and give them the items so that they prepare for themselves and come with the answers to us. But with this particular one, we can also pose it direct to them if there is anything that they are doing in such a manner that we don't understand it. We can wait for the committee, the DG maybe is able to also answer it. If not, that will be when we can be able to get straight to the problem. But the DG who is accountable to this must also give us information when they are present. Can we also get into, we appreciate your deliberations on this, Alex. Can we also get other hands? There are no other hands. Can we?
If there's no other hands, I can move for the adoption of the report, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Abrahams. A report has been adopted. Honorable Stock.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I move to second the proposal to adopt the report. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Stock. The report has been seconded by Honorable Stock and moved by Honorable Abrahams, with all the consent that has been raised by Honorable Abrahams. Can we proceed, Lindy?
Yes, Chair. The next item for discussion is to consider and adopt the fourth term parliamentary, the fourth term committee program, Chair. Can I flight it? Hi, Chair and members, can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay, it's an incorrect one. Okay, sorry, ma'am. Okay. Thank you very much, Chair and members. The program for the fourth term is presented before you for consideration and as well as adoption, so that we can proceed to implement the program. Last week, Chair and members, we had a marathon of meetings, a long meeting on the 12th, where we considered the annual report of the department and its entity. As well, we received a presentation from the Auditor General with the finding outcomes of the DSD and its entity for 2021-2022 financial year, Chair. Today is the 19th of October. We are here adopting the BRRR, as well as the quarterly reports for the fourth and the first, as well as the fourth term committee program, and will adopt as well the minutes. Next week, Chairperson, there is a bill that has been referred to us, the Older Persons Amendment Bill. So next week, Chair, we will invite the department to brief the committee on the contents of this bill, the Older Persons Amendment Bill, B11/2022. And a week after, Chair, there was also a correspondence from Solidarity where they raised a number of issues relating to the child welfare and the functioning of DSD. I think that item was brought by Member Abrahams. We have scheduled for the 2nd of November to hear from the stakeholder as to what are the matters relating to the child welfare. As well, the department will also be part of that meeting to respond to the issues raised, as the correspondence from the Solidarity has been forwarded to the department to prepare a response. Chair, there was an item that the committee has been reiterating in all the meetings, as far as the strategic meetings, that there should be a workshop, with the SD and its entities to get a grasp as to the programs, their role, the policies, etc. Chair, after looking at the parliamentary program, we tried to identify the 9th of November, which is the Wednesday, to have a virtual workshop. And then since there will be a sitting in the afternoon, and then we continue the 10th and 11th of November to finalize the items. There is a series of issues or matters to address during this workshop. Amongst others is the organizational structures, the human resource and institutional capacity, the issues of strategic planning and budgeting entity oversight, service delivery models. We know there are a number of models being developed by NDA and also as SASA. So we want to hear from them and have an engagement and other the key interventions by sector impact and outcomes, including the VEP, sheltering programs for boys and girls, child protection, a number of issues as listed in this program. Chair and members, I just want to highlight as to what might be the prohibiting factors in implementing this workshop. When I looked at the parliamentary program, can I quickly fly to Chair just to explain, or must I just give a background? From next week, which is the 25th, there will be sittings Tuesday to Thursday up until the 2nd of December. So in those 3 days, Tuesday to Wednesday, they will be sitting right through there until the 2nd. So when I looked at the proposed date on the 10th, there is a parliamentary sitting where there will be an so I just want to, can I just okay. Sorry, Chair. I would like just to present the parliamentary program, just to highlight as to the date that we're trying to propose, whether will it be feasible for the committee to get approval to conduct the workshop. Because on the proposed date, which is the 10th, there is a sitting. Okay, Chair, the 10th of November, the proposed date for day 2 of the workshop. There are mini plenaries scheduled from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I don't know whether we'll be given permission to attend the workshop during that time, because the aim was to, in the morning we go and then we have maybe at 12 o'clock start our session, and then away from Parliament, maybe book a hotel, and then we have our second session, and then on Friday as well, we maybe in the afternoon we broke into, we will see how the workshop would unfold, and then Friday we conclude the session. And then the 10th of November, there is these mini plenary sessions are scheduled, which is, if we can even think of maybe deferring to the next weekend, to the next week. On the 15th of November, there's also plenary, there's legislation and committee reports. It's Thursday, there's caucus, as well as there's question to the Deputy President on the 17th, which is the next Tuesday. And then the same week, there's also a sitting at 10 o'clock to consider the report of the ST on appropriation select committee. There's ST on appropriation, the division of revenue on this day, which is a morning plenary. The week after, Chair, on Thursday, and members, there's also 2 o'clock, which is the 24th of November. There's member statements and committee reports. And then the last week, which is the 1st, there's also a plenary to consider report of standing committee on appropriation and other items. Chair, it's safe to say that we will try, but I think chances of program being approved as is, since there will be sittings. Another alternative, Chair, maybe for discussion to look at January, because in January, towards the end, there are committee weeks whereby there are no sittings. Maybe the committee can consider to have their workshop during that time so that they can be able to go away for 2 full days to consider that. Chair, let me proceed to the next item. On the 16th, Chair, there is also another meeting that will be scheduled to get a progress report on the implementation of the North Gauteng High Court on foster care cases, including provincial reports on readiness to meet the court deadline. As we know that the deadline is on the 29th of November, 2022 for the court order, Chair. So we'd want the committee to have an engagement with the department to check their state of readiness to comply with the court order, hoping that on that side, the department, the select committee will be done with the legislation on the Children Amendment Bill. On the 23rd, Chair, of November, the committee will also invite the department. We will receive a briefing by the Department of Social Development on the annual report on the implementation of the National Plan of Action of Children. I remember when we had deliberations with the department, when they presented this National Plan of Action for Children, I believe that the committee wanted, they said that the presentation didn't cover a lot of things, so they wanted an annual report on the implementation of the National Plan, so which the department will be invited on the 23rd to present that annual plan, national plan. On the 30th of November, they will receive a briefing from the Department of Social Development on the regulations on social assistance amendment bill. This is a resolution taken by the committee during its deliberation to say it's best to also have a look on the regulations on the social assistance amendment bill. I wish to confirm that the CDA have tabled their annual report for 2021-2022. We will look at trying to allocate a slot, Chair, to invite them and present their annual report, Chair. The priority was given to the department and entity since there is a compliance in terms of the parliamentary legislation on the money bill for committees to draft their BRRR to showing the assessment of the department's performance and expenditure for the year under review. Chair. Also, Chair, there was a resolution, members, that the department must provide a list of SASSA offices that require some attention. I remember when there was a petition, so I've requested the information from SASSA. I'm still awaiting that. That should also form part of the committee program in the next term, because I believe the committee made a resolution that they need to conduct oversight across provinces to assess the status of office accommodation for SASSA offices. So I'm awaiting for that list, and then in the next term, Chair, maybe January, towards January, committee can start conducting the oversight to the provinces for SASSA offices. Thank you very much, Chair. Over to you, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lindy. Hey, the 10th is out, Lindy, by the mere fact that it's on Thursday to us. Our chief whip won't allow us to have a workshop in the morning of Thursday. It's out. But I would like to hear from the honorable members whether to sacrifice Saturday, finish up that workshop, have it on Friday the 11th and finish up on the Saturday, or rather wait for next year, January, as you have suggested. maybe the honorable members will also assist on that, but is a mandala kakhulu. It's gonna be stale and you know, but again, I'm not going to. Honorable Abrahams and Honorable Masango, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson, and thank you to our Committee Secretary for the report. For the proposed program. Chairperson, also firstly, let me thank you for putting the matter of the social workers on the agenda. And Chairperson, I think maybe that would be also a good opportunity for the department to actually bring with them the social worker action plan that I think one of the colleagues alluded to earlier in the meeting. Because I've also know that the department has yet also to respond to the organization on the issues raised. So we are hoping that the department will firstly, you know, also come to respond to the issues, but just a suggestion, Chair, that we also ask the department to bring with them that action plan for social workers, since we will be dealing with social workers on that day. Then, Chairperson, with the workshop, yes, Thursdays are also not good days. I think we all have caucus, and you know, caucus is important. And furthermore, we don't really know who will be speaking in those mini plenaries and things. I am, you know, and also, Chairperson, I support that the workshop be held in person. I think it's the only way to then properly engage the department and its entities. And then I also agree it should be over 2 days, because, you know, DSD is going to need 1 full day for itself. And then with that said, Chairperson, obviously what's more cost effective, whether it's the members going to Joburg, where most of the officials are, versus the officials coming down here, because it makes no sense for us to split it and then incur double charges in terms of flights and accommodation, etc. So I am prepared to sacrifice a Saturday for it, but also, Chair, we've waited so long for this workshop. You know, I'm also of the opinion it can wait to January, but it will take consensus from all colleagues. And then just lastly, Chairperson, I see on the agenda, we also have a presentation on the MPAC, the Plan of Action for Children. And I was wondering, Chairperson, I'm sure most of the colleagues would have seen, you know, the front page of the Sowetan. And if I can just read it again for you, Chairperson, the headlines is SA, a shameful kiddies death factory. How many more children must die? At the rate of about 3 a day, 549 children, some not even a year old, were murdered in the first half of this year alone. Now, Chairperson, that leaves me very, very disturbed, as I'm sure it will leave you as well. And then I was wondering, Chairperson, you know, if during that meeting, when we're talking about the Plan of Action for Children, if SAPS cannot be called to this committee to give us a presentation on what their action plan is in the onslaught against our children in this country. Thank you, Chairperson. That's just my 2 suggestions.
Okay. Honorable Bridget.
Thank you, Chair. I also would like to thank Lindiwe for the program, which seems to have had a lot of thought into drawing it up. And I would like to just say my proposal would be that we need to consider a meeting in January, as Lindiwe was saying, because we don't want to chop it and change it in terms of, you know, meeting today and then meeting on the other day and whatever. If we can take those 2 full days and really go through this, it will make our work going forward a lot more smoother, if you like, because we will be understanding a whole lot of things better. And it will also give, looking at the list of issues that we are proposing be discussed, it will give the department time to prepare on those issues. And so, Chair, my in a nutshell, what I'm proposing is that we do not do it this year. Also agreeing with you about the Thursdays, and then to say, let's have it in Jan. If that can be approved, I really would be happy that we have it in January. Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Chairperson, and just one thing I forgot, please, if you'll allow me. And
Okay.
And I think for the workshop, Chairperson, the department mustn't, I think we must be very clear to them what we're expecting from them, that they don't come and say, okay, so we've developed a plan and we're implementing the plan and we're monitoring the plan, because that's been the format of all our presentations to date. And, you know, they write it off as high level report. But when they come to the workshop, they must then show us the plan and take us through the steps and take us through the interfaces and things like that. Not just, okay, we monitor, this is the plan we've done and we're monitoring and that's it. So thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. We are also going to give them what we want them to do for us, rather than to ask them to give us the plan. Preferably, let's give them the guidance on what is it that we expect them to present to us. I think I'm with you in that one. Comrade, Honorable Bilangu.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'm your comrade. Chairperson, I will prefer the January one. Bearing in mind that on Thursdays, like you've indicated, it might not be possible for us to be given permission to attend. And also, sometimes if they do give us, but we're missing out if we don't attend our caucuses. A lot of things that are being discussed in our caucuses, it helps us also in our constituency offices. So we lag behind of something. Why can't we look for the days that will be free and the days that will make sure that we'll take 2 days without splitting in between? Then that's my suggestion, Chair, that maybe if Thursday is not that, if Thursday is not approved, then we can opt for January. Thanks, Chair. Chairperson. Chair.
Honorable, thank you, Honorable Bilankulu. Honorable Murray.
Thank you, Chairperson. From our side also, we would also agree with the one of January, because you cannot have a workshop and then have breakage in between. We have to have 2 solid days of workshop. So I would agree with the one of January and not having it in drips and drabs. Let's have it for January, make it 2 days and make the arrangements for the proper people to come and do the inputs that is needed. And then we take it from there. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Murray. January has been seconded and physical workshop has been also suggested, which we thought so. It can be a workshop through virtual. That won't be enough for us to interact with the department and entities. Okay, then Lindy, it means you have to remove that 10th and 11th from our program. And with other dates, I don't think we will have a problem on them, as you have also showed us the parliamentary program. There is no glitch. So what are the members saying on this one, with the exception of that 10th and 11th? Honorable Masango.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Chair. It's an old hand. My apology.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Masango. Honorable members, can we then get into the adoption of the agenda with the exception of the 10th and 11th. What do we say on it? Do we accept it and adopt it as a working document?
Chairperson, I move for the adoption of the fourth term program with amendments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Any seconder?
Chairperson, I will second.
Honorable Marie seconds the adoption by Honorable Abraham in terms of the program as amended or deletion of the 10th and 11th. Thank you very much, Lindy. Then you will have to work on checking the dates for the January, as you have suggested that there will be committee meeting dates where we will be able to attend physically wherever we are. Can we then continue with this agenda of us who are done with the program?
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. I think we will do so with Yoli. There will be a constant meeting with the department, try to come up with the program for the workshop and take cognizance of all the issues we've just raised. Can I make a proposal that on that particular day where we're supposed to have our first day, invite the CDA to present their annual report on that day, on the 9th, Chair. So to use that slot.
CDA?
Yes, Chair, Central Drug Authority, yes, their annual report. They tabled it, and then we can just have a briefing from them to present their annual report, Chair.
When are you talking about it?
Chair, remember on the 9th, we're supposed to have the workshop, day 1, and then Thursday and Friday. Now that the committee has taken a decision to defer the workshop to January, so we use that slot of day 1 of the workshop by inviting the CDA to present their annual report.
Lindy, that is on Thursday, which we have indicated that in the mornings of Thursdays, we have caucuses. We will never be allowed to attend that. And afternoon, what is it that is in the afternoon? It's meeting, it's those sitting there.
It was I think the Wednesday. We're supposed to, first day of the workshop was on Wednesday during our session time. And then we're supposed to have it on Thursday and Friday. So that now that we have canceled the idea of the workshop, we still have that Wednesday where we're supposed to have day 1. So I'm proposing that
Wednesday.
We use that day. Yes.
Wednesday is the 8th, ne?
Yes, we use the 8th to get a briefing from CTA.
8th, not 9th.
Yes,
yeah, that's the mistake that you were doing. Thank you very much.
Okay.
The members, I don't think they will have a problem on that one, because we always have a meeting on Wednesdays. And if you say the CDA must come and present. Members, Honorable Masango, on that one of the 8th, not the 9th.
No, Chair, it actually is the 9th of November. The Wednesday.
Hmm?
The Wednesday, the 9th of November is on a Wednesday. It is the 9th, Chair.
Okay. Lindy, let's look at our...
Please do.
Wednesday, yes, it is Wednesday 9th. Meaning that it was 10th, 9th and 10th. Okay. No, it's fine. It's the 9th, Lindy. So we were correct. So let's agree that the 9th Wednesday will have CDA to come and present their annual report. Agreed? Agreed. Okay. The next item, Lindy, minutes. 5 sets of minutes, honorable members. Others are very stale. but we have to adopt them. Can you first flight the first set of minutes?
Okay, Chair. Chair, the first set of minutes is for the 2nd of September, where we receive Chair, where we consider the MOT of the fundraising amendment bill, and also the deliberation on the bill, and adopted a set of minutes, Chair. On this day, members that were present is Member Mvana, Member Stock, Member Hlongo, Member Manganye, Member Bilangulu. From the Democratic Alliance, we had Member Masango, Abrams, and Member Opperman. And then from EFF, we have Member Aris and Member Mare. And then apologies were from Member Fana Merve, no Member Sukers. We had a departmental official in attendance, and then you just open the meeting and outline the purpose. And then we also recorded the apologies, Chair. Also, the Mama Manganye proposed for the adoption of the agenda, which was seconded by Member Stock, and then we adopted the set minutes. And then the committee deliberate, the chairperson draft the MOD, and then Mr. Mjengane also suggested that there should be a cross-referencing in the existing legislation, such as Company Act, with regard to the composition of board. I think there was a query regarding the number of board, whereby there was a proposal of 7 members, and then there was of the view that 7 is an odd number. And then the number changed to 9 and ultimately to 14. Chair, this is just to capture what transpired in that meeting. And then also there were resolutions taken that the department should brief the committee on the regulations of the fundraising before they are finalized. As well, the parliamentary advisor should draft the A and B list on the amendments made on the bill, and it presented to the committee in the next meeting. And then the committee resolved that clause 3 should be amended to include reasonable time, because there was an issue about the time which the bill was not clear when there's a disaster. So there was an issue that it should be reasonable time must be effected as the amendment from the committee. In a nutshell, those are the proceedings of that meeting, captured in that meeting, Chair, of the 2nd of September. Thank you very much.
Lindy, thanks, Lindy. What are the members saying on this report of the 2nd of
September, Chair. September, Chair.
Okay. Honorable Stock and Honorable Masango.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. I move for the adoption of the minutes as a true reflection of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Stock. Honorable Masango.
Chairperson, thank you. I would like to move to second the adoption of the minutes as a true reflection of the deliberations of the meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Honorable Masango and Honorable Stock. The meeting of the 2nd has been adopted. Let's go to the next set of meeting.
Sorry, Chair. Sorry, Chair. All the members. Yoli?
Yeah, bosses.
Awunazo i-set of 7, sisi.
I don't have them opened. Okay, let me have a look.
I don't know when to do now. Oh, sorry, Nazio. Thanks, man. Thank you. On the 7th of September, we invited the department to present their first term committee program. As also we've considered the A list. Remember in the previous meeting, we requested the legal advisor to draft the A list and the B list. So in this particular meeting, they came to present the A list as well as the B list, and then the department presented their first quarter report. Members who were present is Mvana Mbilankulu Manganye Hlongo, and then we have Abrahams, Opperman, Masango, and then we have Eris, member Mare, we have member Fana Merve, and then also member Briet, and then apologies were for member Sukars. In this meeting, the department officials were also present, and the support staff as well. Chair, we also here, we're just recording the apologies, where the minister also indicated that on that particular day, she will be in and out because she was also scheduled to attend the Standing Committee on Appropriation, and then himself and the ATG will be in and out. As well, there was also an apology from the Deputy Minister who was attending the Fetal Awareness Campaign scheduled, and then we adopted the agenda, the Move Our Members Talk, which was seconded by member Fana Merve, and then the agenda was adopted without changes. And then, Chair, there's the deliberations. This is a presentation from the SD on the 4th term quarter, and they highlighted their targets, what are their achievements, if is there any challenges or any highlights that they would want to bring to the attention of the committee as far as that quarter is concerned, as well as what was allocated to them in terms of budget, how much has been spent, how much is left, and what are the key programs. And then, Chair, the deliberations that are the ones that Yoli briefed the committee on during her presentation on the 4th committee report. So the deliberations are captured there. We also consider the A list from member Makabeni, which is a state law advisor from the Office of the Chief State Law Advisor, took the committee through the A list. And then, Chair, as well as there was an issue of the board members, the committee agreed that they should reduce the number of board members from 14 to 10, which the committee agree on that. And then the also committee agreed that they need to meet on Friday to finalize the legislation. As well, Chair, the resolution taken in this meeting was that the committee should defer the adoption of the A list and B list to 9th, which is Friday, and also the legal team to effect the proposed change to the A list and present the A list and be in the same meeting, which was on the 9th, Chair. I think it was just a short meeting, 30 minutes meeting. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Lindy. Yeah, it was a short meeting, much as it was also having its dynamics in those days. But nevertheless, let's go to honorable members and get whoever is going to adopt the meeting of the 7th.
Chair? Yes, Chair.
Honorable members. Honorable Bilankulu and Honorable. Yes.
I move for the adoption of the minutes of the 7th as read. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Bilankulu. Honorable
Chairperson, I'd like to second the adoption of the minutes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Honorable Abram is seconding. Thank you very much, honorable members. Let's go to the next set of meeting.
Okay, Chair. Remember in the previous meeting, we said that the committee, the legal team needs to effect the changes. I think the point of contention was around the issue of the membership from 14 to 10 as well. There was an issue around the reasonable time, where the committee had a discussion around. So this meeting was on Friday. Members present was Mvana, member Pulankulu, Manganye, Stock, and member Abrams, Aris, and member Mare. And then we received a couple of apologies. Flongo, Masango, Opperman, Father Merve, and Suker. It's safe to say, Chair, we proceeded procedurally in this meeting because there was a quorum. There were 7 members present, and not to and Chair. And then we also, as a support team, we're also there, and the departmental officials also attended the meeting. The acknowledgement of apologies from member Sukers, Masango, Opperman, Fana Merve, and then who were unable due to prior commitments. And then I believe member Tlongo was traveling home to a funeral. And then Chair member Manganye proposed adoption of the agenda, which was seconded by member Stock. There were no minutes scheduled for adoption, Chair. As well, the person tabled the A list and the B list for consideration and adoption. And then member Manganye moved for the adoption of the A list, and her motion was seconded by member Stock, and then the A list was formally adopted. And then the committee proceeded with the B list just to show what was agreed in the A list also appears in the B list. Chair member Makabeni from the Office of State Law Advisor took the committee through with the following clauses the committee agreed on. So the meeting adjourned at 10:30, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lindy. Thank you, Lindy. Can I get the comment from the honorable members in terms of these minutes? Honorable Stock.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I move for the adoption of the minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Stock. Any seconder to this, Honorable Kate?
Thank you, Chairperson. I move to second the move by Honorable Stock. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable Bilankulu has seconded the honorable members to other set of minutes. Indeed, what's the following set of minutes? Date?
Okay, Chair. The next minutes, Chair, is for the 10th of it was for the 12th of 12th of October, where the committee considered the annual report of the SD and its entity. I believe it was a long meeting until 5:30. Thank you very much, Chair. This day I was in a study leave. Ms. Williams was standing in for me, Chair, and then we received a presentation from the AG from 9 till 11. Thereafter, the department and its entities presented the annual report for 2021-22 financial year. Members that were present is Member Mvana, Member Stock, Member Mpikwe, Member Pilangulu, Member Tlongo, Member Manganye Masango, Member Opperman Abrams, Sukers, and Member Fana Merve. and then the support team, which was led by Ms. Williams, and then we had our content advisor, committee assistant, researcher, and our executive secretary. The minister was there, and also the deputy minister, the ADG, and SASA, and CEO from SASA, as well as from the acting CEO of NDA. And then we had members from the AG were also present here. You've introduced Chairperson in terms of introductive open, and welcome everyone. You also stated what is the purpose of this meeting, and also talked about the issue of the elderly who are commemorated, as well as Transport Month, commemorating those affected by road accidents. It was part of your opening remarks, Chair. Apologies were received from your member, Fana Merve. He said that she'll only attend the morning session. As well, Member Abrams will leave at 2 o'clock. Member Stock was busy with interview on that day. He will be in and out, but he stayed in some instances during the course of the meeting. Chair, we received a presentation from AG, from TSD, from SASA and NTA, which the committee engaged on, as it was presented by Yoli this morning during BRRR, and the BRRR contained the in-depth of discussion, as well as committee findings, and as well as recommendation. That is the minutes of this day in a nutshell. More content is contained in the BRRR, Chair. But for the record, we need to have some kind of reporting on that day. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Lindy. Thanks ever so much. Those ones are fresh in my thinking. It's the one that we were also adopting the report. Can I get the members' contribution on it? At least they are not very stale. We still have in our minds on what we were deliberating and discussing. Thank you, Honorable Bridget.
Thank you, Chairperson. I just would like to move for the adoption of the minutes of the 12th of October as a true reflection of the deliberations of the meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Bridget. The adoption has been put forward. Any second to the minutes of the 12th?
Seconded, Chair. As Honorable Masango has moved.
Honorable Mangani has seconded the minutes of the 12th. Thank you very much, honorable members. Is there any other set of minutes, Lindy? I think it's the last one.
Yes, Chair, the last one is for the 14th. That short meeting of an hour.
Or the one of 1 hour, yes.
Yes, Chair, as I indicated earlier, that the meeting of the 12th was very long, and members couldn't conclude the deliberation. And then there was a decision taken that the members should, in writing, submit the questions for the department's response, and a meeting should be scheduled for Friday so that the department can respond to the questions by members. This was just a short meeting from 9 till 10:30, whereby the department came in and responded to the questions posed by the members. So this was part of this meeting. Chair, the members that were present, Chair, we have you, Member Shongo, Member Stock, Member Manganye, Member Pelongulu, and Member Mfikwe, and then we had Member Masango, Member Abrahams, and then Member Sukars and Member Iris. Apologies were received from Member Fadamev, Oberman, Yet, and Member Mare. Chair, the Minister was there, as well as ADG. Hello? And the ADG was also there, Chair. We had member, the CEOs from SASA and NTO were also in attendance. We have our normal staff, led by content advisor. There was no committee secretary since I was on study leave. But you only took upon yourself just to play a role, also to take minutes on that day, which I appreciate. Thank you very much, Julie, for that. Chair, you also welcome everyone and outline the purpose of the meeting, and then we also recorded the apologies from Fana Merve and Member Brett who were unable to attend. Another apology was also from Member Mare, who could not attend the meeting due to ill health. She was hospitalized, Chair, and also the agenda members were also requested to adopt the agenda. Member Masango proposed adoption of the agenda, which was seconded by Member Manganye. And then there were no meeting minutes scheduled for adoption on that day, as well. The department and the entities started to respond to all the questions that were contained in the documentation for them to respond to. So, Chair, there are about 2 resolutions that were taken, that the minister requested the committee to consider in future having separate dates to consider performance reports of the department and its entity to give the committee enough time to ask questions and receive responses. Minister's request was agreed to. I think it was a challenge to have marathon meeting in one day, so there should be consideration to divide to separate, to have more than one meeting for these engagements. As well, the NDA to submit the list of CEOs that secured grant funding in 2020-21 financial year to the committee. I'll make a follow-up on that with the acting CEO to provide the list to the committee. Thank you very much, Chair. Those are the minutes for the 14th of October for consideration and adoption. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lindy, for the minutes of the 14th. Can we then give over to the members? What are the members saying on these minutes of the 14th last week? Members? I wonder what they are tired now. Honorable Kate?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the adoption of the minutes of the 14th as read. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kate. And Honorable Bridget Masango?
I second Honorable Bilankulu on the adopting of the minutes, Chair. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable Kate has moved for the adoption of the minutes, and Honorable Bridget Masango has seconded the minutes of the 14th. Then that was the last set of minutes, honorable members, and I think Lindy, we're done, eh?
Yeah, what's that?
Honorable members, you were so sweet this morning, especially today, dealing with the adoption of the reports and also adopting the minutes. I really appreciate on how prompt you were and how sharp you were, meaning that this thing of sending documents on time to us assist us in moving swiftly in continuing the minutes. Honorable members, let's adjourn our meeting peacefully and have a nice day. We are done on time and be able to log on for the plenary session if there is one. Thank you very much. Honorable Pauline. Marie. Ay, Marie. Muni dai deng tuni. Mute your mic. Thank you very much. The meeting has adjourned.